All right. Hello and welcome to the Mid-Year Gap Analysis and Clarity Workshop for Real Estate Professionals. We're going to go ahead and get started. So let's dive right into it. Awesome. So here's a quick outline of what we're going to do today on this session. First of all, to get the best results, what you want to do is really focus throughout this 90 minutes. So limit your distractions, go through the exercises, be open to what we're going to talk about, and hopefully you will get a lot out of it. There is a template, a business, personal and business clarity exercise template that I'm going to walk you through. You can download that template. I put a link in the chat. So you should be able to download that, and I'll put it there again. It's also in the description. So in the description of the video and in the chat comment, there is a link to download the exercise. So you can go ahead and download it. I'm also going to share it on my screen and you can follow me along. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is really walk you through that personal and business clarity exercise. Then I'm going to walk you through processes that you need in your business. Then talk about systems that you need in your business. Talk about a platform or a structure that supports you and benefits you as you grow your business. I'm going to discuss some tools and resources, most of which are free to you and already available to you. And then I'm going to throw you an offer. And my offer is really to help you at no cost to you at all. So it's going to be completely free to you. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Really brief intro. I won't bore you with a lot of details or a list of accomplishments. My name is Mina Badros. I started out my real estate journey as an investor, and I still am an investor. Then I got my real estate license, and after getting some experience as a realtor, I began training other realtors. I come from a training and development background, so it was natural for me to begin training in the real estate industry. And I got contracted by a big MLS company to travel various states and train realtors. Then I became licensed as a real estate instructor. So I teach a lot of the designation classes, the APR class, SRS, RENE, and continuing education as well. More importantly, however, besides all those real estate hats, is that I'm really passionate about making an impact in the lives of others. And considering everything that I've done in real estate and all the hats I wear, I get exposed to a lot of opportunities, resources, and information that can really benefit you. So I want to utilize all that to really help you along your journey. Even before real estate, what I'm really focused on is serving others, giving to others, helping others, inspiring others, and impacting others. And hopefully I'll be able to meaningfully impact you and help you have a greater impact in your life and on those that you reach. I've been doing a lot of motivational speaking, training, and development work really ever since I graduated high school. I was going to say ever since I became an adult, but I graduated high school at the age of 17. And that's really when I started doing a lot of training and development work. And I've been doing that in various industries. And now, as a practicing realtor, I do that in the real estate industry as well. So that's a little bit about me, but enough about me. Let's go ahead and dive into the exercise. So the first thing I'm going to take you through, and really probably what's going to take up the bulk of our time here, maybe the first 20 to 30 minutes, is a personal and business clarity exercise. And the objective of this exercise is to see the vision that you have for yourself, where it is that you want to be, to clearly define the values that you have and the things that are important to you. Talk about your SMART goals, the things that you want to accomplish, and the action steps, the things that you need in order to get there. In doing this exercise, you'll also get to know your audience and also your offer for your audience as well. And if you haven't already, go ahead and download that personal and business clarity exercise template. I'm going to put it in the chat once again, and it's in the description of the video. 1 second here. I'm actually going to share with you my screen with that exercise, and we'll go from there. All right, so here is that personal and business clarity exercise. That's the template that you should download. When you click on it, it's going to open up a Google Doc, and then from there you can click download, or you can open it up on Google Drive. And I'm going to walk you through it right now. So this is something that many business professionals use to constantly evaluate where they're at and kind of plan ahead. And I modified the templates a little bit from previous things I saw to really fit what I'm doing, and hopefully this will help you as well. So this is something that I ideally look at every quarter, right? So I know we're doing a mid-year gap analysis, but it doesn't have to only be mid-year. You can do it whenever you need some clarity. And I would encourage you to do this on a quarterly basis so you constantly revisit what you have going on and what your goals are. The first thing in the top left corner here are your personal values. We want to talk about and really understand what is important to you, what really matters to you. So take a second to think about your top 5 personal values. What things really matter to you? Maybe for you, it's a God. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's your desire to be of service to others. Maybe it's growing your business. Maybe it's constantly improving. Maybe it's constantly being a better person, right? So whatever values that are important to you, you want to get clear on that, because that's really going to guide you as you conduct yourself on a personal level and on a business level as well. What really matters to you, what you always want to keep top of mind, and what you always want to focus on. It's really important to define your values. Right under that, after you define your values, we look at the mission. What is the current mission that we're on? So maybe you're on a mission to list 100 homes. Maybe you're on a mission to educate 1,000 people on home ownership. Maybe you're on a mission to raise $1 million for charities, right? What is the mission that you're currently on? What is the task that you're currently focused on, right? And then the who. In the mission is the who. Who am I helping? Who am I serving in this mission? Maybe you're focused on millennial home buyers that never bought a home before, and you really want to educate and guide them throughout that process. So that's your mission, and that's the who. That's who you're focused on. Right? So we talk about the values, and then you go through the mission, and then under that you want to go through the vision. So what's your long-term vision? 5-10 years from now, down the line, where do you see yourself? What do you want your life to look like, right? And that's your vision, okay? So go ahead, if you haven't already, kind of think about that. And again, you're going to have this template, so you can download it and spend a lot of time later to kind of really think through that. But in the meantime, as we're going through this, go ahead and think about that, right? What are your values? What are your most important values? What is the mission that you're on? Who are you serving? And what is your long-term vision, right? I'm going to go to the right side now, and going from the long-term vision, we're going to take a look at a smaller year outlook. So if you're looking at your vision like 10 years from now, think about in the next 3 years, what do you want to be, or where do you want to be 3 years from now, right? And this template is one thing that it has on it is you'll see dates all over it. So that way we can have deadlines and we can have dates where we revisit. So 3 years from now, what is that date going to be? And you can write that right here. Then what is your annual income goal? So 3 years from now, how much do you want to be making per year, right? And then under that is your financial goal. Your financial goal isn't necessarily your income goal. Maybe you're making, 100 grand a year, 250 a year, or $1 million a year, whatever it may be. But you might also have financial goals. How much you want to have saved up, maybe how many properties you want to have bought, how much you want to have in assets. Maybe you have other financial goals that are there. So 3 years from now, what is that date of 3 years from now? What is your income goal 3 years from now? And what are your financial goals 3 years from now? And then what is your key indicators? Basically, what do you need to measure in order to get there? So if you are, if you're on a mission to list 100 homes this year, what are your key indicators? Maybe your key indicators is how many listing appointments you go on. Maybe your key indicators is how many people you contact on a daily basis or weekly basis. Maybe your key indicators is how many campaigns you put out there. So what are your key indicators that as you're doing them will let you know that you are, on the right road and on track to reach your goals? And then down here, right below that is what does life look like 3 years from now? Overall, what are some bullet points that you can write down to imagine what life looks like, right? As you scroll down on this sheet, you'll see unique value there on the left. So what is it, if you've been to other classes that I teach, especially designation classes, we talk about your unique value proposition, right? So in here, we talk about what it is that you have to offer that most other peoples don't offer or can't offer. So what's very unique about you? What is it that you have to offer that other people cannot offer or don't offer? And think about at least three things that are very unique to you. Next, under that, you want to think about the proven process. So maybe you have a proven process to take someone, let's say, for example, from bad credit to their dream home within 3 months, right? And you have a proven process to do that. You've done it time and time again. Maybe you have a proven process to sell homes 20% above market value, regardless of the market conditions. And you've been able to do that time and time again, and you have a proven process. Your proven process is something that you can offer to your potential customers and clients because it is something that you have done, something that you are certain of, something you can do for them, right? And everybody wants to have a proven process. When you go to a vendor, if they have a proven process that can generate you results, that will make you so much more assured in their services. And then the last thing you want to talk about here or think about is your guarantees. What guarantees you have to your customers? Excuse me. So maybe you guarantee that their home will be sold or that you'll buy it. Maybe you guarantee that they can buy a home within 3 months if they follow all the steps that you give them. So what are the guarantees that you can offer your clients, right? Again, this template is available for you. I put it in the chat and in the description. So download it and take some time to go through it later on today or whenever it is that you want. But as of now or right now, at least give some thought to all of these things that we talked about, right? What are your values? What are the things that really matter to you, the things that are really important to you in life? What is the current mission that you're on? What are you focused on? What are you trying to do? Who is it that you're serving? What is your long-term vision, 5-10 years from now, where it is that you want to be? What is your 3-year outlook? 3 years from now, what does life look like? How much are you making? Where are you financially, right? And then also your unique value, what it is that you have to offer to others or to potential customers that most other professionals are not or do not do. What is the proven process that you have in order to deliver that service or that offer, and what guarantees you have to make. Now we get more specific on the second sheet, and the middle column is really what is most important to me, but we'll go from left to right here. On the left side, you have 1-year goals. Okay, so we talked about long-term, where it is that we want to be in 10 years. We looked at 3 years, where do we want to be in 3 years? Now we're going to look at the 1-year goal. 1 year from now, right? What is that date? What is the annual income? How much are we making in that year? And what are our financial goals overall? And what key indicators do we have to hit those goals? Again, your key indicators could be number of listings or number of listing appointments or number of contacts or number of campaigns or number of people reached, right? What things would indicate to you that you're actually doing the work that you need to do in order to hit your goals? And then list the goals that you have for the year. What are the things that you want to accomplish in a year, in the next 12 months, right? Or in a span of a year? What are the goals? What are the things you want to accomplish? Now, the second column here is in the middle. I think it's probably the most important piece of this entire exercise, or one of the most important pieces in this exercise, is really your focus areas for the quarter, right? Because we looked at things long-term. We looked at 5-10 years from now, where we want to be. We looked at 3 years. What does that look like? We looked at 1 year. What is it that we want to accomplish in 1 year? Now, in the next quarter, in the next 3 months, what is it that we need to focus on in the next 3 months in order to, be on track to accomplish our yearly goals? And again, you want to put a date on it. And this is very important for me. Like I said, I visit this sheet every quarter. So I constantly come into this quarterly column. I look at this, and then every few months, I review it and I change the date. Obviously, I save a whole new document just so I can keep track. But the idea here is, 3 months from now, what is that date? What is the income goal? Maybe you have a stride that you want to make X amount of dollars in these next 3 months, right? You want to generate X amount of business or commission in this next 3 months. So what does that look like? Maybe you have other financial goals. Maybe you want to start saving for tax, or maybe you want to, buy an investment property. You want to do other financial things. So what are your financial goals over the next 3 months, aside from just making an income or commissions? And what are your key indicators? How many people do you need to reach out to? How many listing appointments do you need to go on? How many campaigns you need to do? How many people you need to reach overall in order to hit your goals? And then write down the focus areas for the quarter, right? The focus areas for the quarter. For these next 3 months, what things do I need to focus on in order to hit my yearly goals? And here is another question that is very helpful. Someone told me before, a great trainer, when you think about the things that you have to do, ask yourself, who can help me get there, right? A lot of times we think about, how am I going to do this? So if I want to list 100 homes per year, we think about, how am I going to do that? And what do I need to do in order to do so? But a big question that oftentimes we don't think about and can really be key to our success is, who can help me get there? Who can do this for me? Who can help me do that, right? So think about who can help you focus on the things that you need to focus on in your next quarter. It could be family members, it could be work partners, it could be colleagues, it could be networking groups you're part of, it could be your broker, it could be myself, whoever it is that can help you. It could be assistants, staff that you have. Who can do this thing for you? Who can help you focus on that thing in order to get it done? And there's always going to be issues. The reality is, whenever we have a plan in mind, whenever we have a goal in mind, there are always things that come up. There are always issues that we face. We don't have enough time, or we don't have enough money, or we don't have a big enough database, or we don't have a lot of people that we can reach on a consistent basis, right? So what are the issues that are going to come up in your process, on your journey, and how can you resolve them? So maybe time is an issue, right? So for me, when I fill this out, I think one of my top ones is time. So how do I resolve time is by using processes, systems, and other people to get things done, right? And also managing my time effectively. So in this right column, you want to think about what issues you're going to have in focusing on the things you need to focus on, and how can you resolve the issues. Again, if time is an issue, for example, then you have to put processes in place, systems in place, maybe seek the help of other people in order to resolve the time issue, right? So that is just what that column is about. And then as we scroll down, we really dig deeper into what activities and what action steps we need to take. So we talked about, overall, what is our vision? Where do we want to be in 10 years? What does life look like in 3 years? What do we need to do in this 1 year? In order to do that, what do we need to focus on in this quarter, in this next 3 months? But goals are great, but without activities, it's not going to get done, right? Your actions and your activities is what's going to take you from point A to point B. So looking back at all those things that we just did on the first 2 pages, think about what activities you need to take on a consistent basis during this quarter in order to accomplish the things that you want to get done. So here's just a chart to think about what activities you need to do, how frequently you need to do these activities, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, right? Who can help you with these activities? So maybe you need to make some calls, or maybe you need to write some emails, or maybe you need to do a direct mail campaign. Who can help you, right? Maybe you have assistants, maybe you have office staff, other people that can do work for you so that you're not tied up doing all the little things. And you can also write down when. So maybe you have a weekly task. You want to create content and you want to do it weekly. So what day of the week do you need to do that? Maybe on Mondays or Tuesdays, you're going to create content. Maybe you're going to prospect daily from 9 to 11 a.m. in the morning, right? So think about the activities that you need to do during this quarter. Think about the frequency of each of these activities. Think about who can help you, right? And think about when. When are you going to get these things done, right? Which then takes you to the bottom part of the sheet, which is really your daily schedule. Okay, in order for me to get these activities done, what does my daily schedule need to look like? So if you have things that frequency wise need to get done on a daily basis, then you have to be doing those things every day, right? So you want to put together an ideal schedule for yourself that would allow you to, accomplish these scheduled activities on a daily basis or weekly basis or what have you. Now, I understand that, especially as a real estate professional, from day to day, we might not always have the same schedule. And that's why I put ideal daily schedule. Sometimes you may have appointments. Sometimes you may be out all day in the field doing stuff, or appointments and showings and whatnot. So your day to day isn't always the same. But ideally, if you had a work day where you didn't have to go out, right? What would you be doing? And what are those activities? What does that schedule look like? Right. So this is a great exercise that can really help you get clarity on personal and business stuff. Right. Like I said, I do this probably every quarter. I would encourage you to do it at the beginning of the year, and also then review it on a quarterly basis. And again, if you just joined us, this exercise goes through your values, your mission, your vision, where you want to be in 10 years or 5 years, where do you want to be in 3 years, what unique things you have to offer that others don't, what processes that you have in order to deliver your services to your clients, and what guarantees can you make for your clients. Then we look at the 1 year goals. What goals do you have for the year? Then we look at the focus areas for the quarter. What do I need to focus on in this quarter, in this next 3 months, in order to accomplish my 1 year goals? And what problems do I foresee, and how do I go about resolving these problems? And after you go through that, then you want to look at the activities that you need for the quarter, and also then your daily schedule. What does that look like? Again, this template is available for you in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and download it. I also put it in the chat, so you go ahead and download it, work through it, make it your own. All right. Let me hide this for a second and then go back to my PowerPoint presentation. As we go through this, if you guys have any questions or comments, please do let me know. What's one thing that you got out of this exercise? Or let me ask you, what are, when we talked about values and the things that are most important to you, you don't need to tell me all 5 of them, but share with me one of the values that are important to you. Awesome. Cool. All right. So we went through the exercise, the personal and business clarity exercise. And, and that is an example of a process, right? So you want to have many processes in your life and in your business. One of the processes you need to have is a process whereby you can go evaluate and plan your life and make sure that you are on track or get back on track, right? And that is an example of what I just gave you right now, the personal and business clarity exercise. So the exercise I just walked you through is really a process of evaluating where you are, planning where you want to get to, and make sure you stay on track. Again, I would suggest that you do this on do it at the beginning of the year and visit it on a quarterly basis and modify it. I personally look at it often, way more so than quarterly, probably every month or more. But I try not to make many edits. I try not to make many edits, within the quarter, but, then I make modifications every quarter, and then I reset my goals on a quarterly basis. Awesome. You also want to have a process of getting things done. So a schedule is a process, right? Having a schedule. So we talked about having a daily schedule, and what does your ideal day look like? And that's a process of getting things done. Your calendar may be a way to get things done. Some people, myself included, live by the calendar, right? If I want to get it done, I put it on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, I'm going to get it done, right? And then you might also have a daily or regular scheduled activities, as we talked about. What are those activities that you need to do every day or on a regular basis in order to accomplish your goals? When we think about goals, a lot of people think about these grand things, but really what makes the needle move, what makes you go from A to B, what makes you go from where you are today to achieving those goals are the small steps and the small activities that you do on a daily basis and on a regular basis, right? So in your life and in your business, you need to have a process where you are doing consistent evaluating and consistent planning. You need to have a process whereby you get things done. So whether that's a schedule, a calendar, and daily activities. And you also need business processes. There are many processes in our business. We're going to talk about a few of those. So in the real estate business, for example, you might have a process for prospecting, right? Prospecting for business. You might have a process of getting leads converted to clients. When you get a new lead, how does that lead then become a client? You probably have a process of buyer clients. Okay, so you prospected, you generated leads, you converted the leads to clients. Now that they become clients, right? What is the process? And you should have a buyer client process, and you should also have a listing client process. And then once you finish the transaction, what's your post-transaction process after that? What does your follow-up look like post-transaction? If you are a team leader or a broker, what does your onboarding process look like? What does your training process look like? Also, just as any professional, what does your business improvement process look like? So these are all different processes that we should have in our business as real estate professionals. And if you have a process, if you have the process drawn out, right, it makes it that much easier to execute. It also makes it that much easier for other people to step into it. A lot of times as real estate professionals, we're wearing so many hats, we're doing everything on our own. But what happens if we're, God forbid, ill or we need to step away? Do we have other people that can step in? Do we have a documented process that someone can just read and plug in and pick up where we left off, right? So it's really important to have processes in place. Also, when you are just depending on yourself and on your time to get things done, a lot of things fall through the cracks. So if you have a process and if you have systems in place, you take that much more off your plate and you allow for things to get done, right? So it can be a lot thinking about the process and thinking about, for example, the list of processes I just mentioned. It can really be a lot to take in. But that's why you need to leverage the following to get it done, right? You need to leverage processes, you need to leverage systems, you need to leverage people and your scheduled activities, okay? And how I like to look at it is that you want to use systems and personnel, staff, to guide customers through a process and have it automated as possible. So again, you know, you have your values, you have your vision, you have your goals, you have the things that you want to get done. Okay, now how do I get these things done? I need to draw out a process, okay? Then within my process, I implement systems to basically guide people through that process. And I have staff that also help guide people through the process. So the idea is to have a process and then have systems and people, personnel or staff, and that could be maybe just you for now, or you could have a big team, depending on your situation. And the process with the systems and the staff guides your clients or your prospects through the process, and you want to have it as automated as possible. That way things get done without you necessarily having to do it yourself. And here is just a quick sales process, as you can see on my screen. So this is a very generic sales process that can apply to many businesses. And it talks about attracting, so attracting people, then converting, then closing, and delighting, right? So you have strangers, you want to attract strangers maybe to your website, and then those strangers become visitors. And those visitors, hopefully you can capture as leads. From leads, you want to turn them into customers. And then after you close, you want hopefully these customers to become promoters, right? You want these customers to pass you referrals, recommend you as a realtor, and really promote your service, refer your service, recommend your service, right? So in any business, and this can apply to real estate, you want to attract people, convert, close, and delight, right? Ideally, people go from strangers to visitors to leads to customers, then to promoters of your service. Okay, and we're gonna talk about another process here, and I'll give you an example of that. So one of the bullet point processes I talked about was the lead to client process. And what does that look like for you if you already have one? And if you don't have one, what can that look like? Here's an example. You see here on the right, there's a graph of it. And on the left, I basically list the steps. So if you look on the right and on this graph, you start off from the top by generating the lead. And then you make contact with the lead. And then you qualify the lead. So let's say you have a form on your website. Somebody fills out a form. They click submit. Now a lead is generated. The next step is you contacting this lead. So maybe you have a system in place that automatically contacts this lead, or maybe you don't. We have to understand, and I'm sure you all know, that the speed to response is very important, right? Because this person is probably filling out multiple forms, and usually the first person who contacts this lead is the person that ends up winning the business. So going back to this process, you're generating the lead. Next step, you're making contact with the lead. Third step, you're qualifying the lead. And if they are qualified, then you are setting an appointment, right? After you set the appointment and you have an initial conversation, you do some research based on your client's needs, whether they're a buyer or a seller, and the information that they would need in order for you to be prepared for your presentation. Then you go on your listing appointment or your presentation or your buyer consultation, whatever it is, right? And at the end of that conversation, your goal is really to get a representation agreement, right? Your goal for a seller client is to basically get a listing agreement signed. Your goal for a buyer client is to get a buyer representation agreement signed, right? And then from there, this person now becomes your client, and you move on to another part of the process. You move on to serving them depending on their needs, whether they're a buyer or a seller. So this is just an example of a process taking a person from a lead to becoming a client. So how do you do that, right? Most of us just do it manually. But I want you to think about if you already have this process drawn out, or do you not? Most people don't. So I would encourage you to draw out this process and what does your process look like. And then I would encourage you to think about what systems can be used at every step to automate every step and to move people to the next step. So for example, maybe you have a form on your website to generate the lead and capture the information, right? That's a system. That's automated right there. Maybe you have a follow-up system that automatically responds to the lead as the information is captured without having for you to, be freed up to follow up with that contact. That's a system right there. Maybe you have a calendar or a scheduling tool that allows people to book an appointment with you. That's a system right there. Maybe you have an email template or some kind of campaign that goes out at every step. So once a person contacts you, there's an email or information that goes out to them. Once a person is qualified or an appointment set, there may be certain information or a pre-listing package or some kind of package that goes out to them before you even meet. Maybe after a person becomes your client, you have a specific process in place and maybe a campaign or a follow-up email that goes out with certain information, right? So along your process, and if you really draw out your process like this, and you think about what systems can I implement at every step, that will take a lot of work off of you. It will allow you to have a process that is duplicated, that can be repeated, and doesn't really require you to do each and every step, right? And when it is automated, it is much more efficient than you having to do it yourself, right? So what systems do you need? And there's a lot of systems that we can use, but here are some of the major systems realtors need to use. One is a database. One of the biggest gaps for realtors is not really having a database, not having a place where they can store contacts, okay? So having a database is a system that you really need in your business. Second is a workflow management system. How do you manage all the deals that are going on? How do you move people from one step or one stage to the next stage efficiently? How do you manage all the tasks and everything that's going on, right? And there are systems for that. Maybe you have a system or you need a system to generate leads, or maybe you need to build a system that allows you to build funnels and capture leads and then push them through your sales funnel. Maybe you need follow-up sequences, right? Basically, automatic follow-up that are triggered depending on how you move people through the different stages, Okay. And you have campaigns for each stage. For example, when I mentioned when someone books an appointment with you, do you have a campaign that goes out to them, some messaging, some information that goes out to them? When you take someone on as a client, do you have information and a campaign that goes out to them? When you close a deal with someone, do you have a campaign that goes out to them to basically, get them to be raving fans about your service? Okay. Also, there are systems that can allow you to push notifications and assign tasks. So, for example, when someone fills out a form on your website and they click submit, you can, receive notification that someone submitted the form. You can right away assign it to one of your team members to follow up with that person, right? And lastly is a review or feedback system. How are you getting reviews? Right now, reviews are very important, whether it's Google reviews or whatever other platforms you use. People want to look at reviews before they buy, right? And I'm assuming you guys do it too when it comes to buying different things. So getting reviews on your services as a realtor is very important. Right? So again, these are just various systems that you need in your business to be very effective. Right? I'm not going to read the list for you again, but they're right there for you. And remember, you want to use systems and personnel to guide people through the process and have it as automated as possible. You want to use systems and personnel to guide people through a process and have it as automated as possible. I'm going to give you a very a shameless plug right here. I do have a system called Always Connected that I put together that really allows you to do a lot of these things, right? Can serve as a CRM, as a database, allows you to build funnels, allows you to automatically respond to leads, allows you to have automatic follow-ups and campaigns with your customers, and also allows you to generate reviews after you close. If you are interested in getting more information about that, just message me or schedule a call with me and we can talk about that more, right? But first you want to start with your process, then your system. So how do you combine the two? The first thing you want to do is draw out your process or your workflow, okay? You want to draw out your process. Then the second step is think about what systems can automate each step for you. So if you need to generate leads, is there a tool or a system that can do that for me? I need to make a contact with the lead after it's generated. Is there a system or a tool that can do that for me? I need to qualify a lead. Is there a system or a tool that can do that for me? I need to set appointments. Is there a system or a tool that can do that for me? And so on and so forth, right? So you want to first draw out your process, okay? Then second, think about what systems and tools can automate each of those steps for you. Then third, you want to go ahead and begin implementing and executing on that process and system. A lot of times people in general, we spend a lot of times getting ready just to get ready, right? And we never execute. We have this great drawing, we have this great plan, we have this great schedule, we go through all these exercises, but we don't take action. So it's very important that after you have all of this done, this pretty process, these great systems, right, you actually implement. And number four is review and improve. Now, when you first draw out a process, when you begin implementing these systems in, it might not be perfect right away. Hopefully it is, that would be great. But oftentimes you need to make constant tweaks. You need to see, okay, what part of my process or what systems are being very effective? What parts do I need to make changes in, right? So there's always a constant review and improvement of your process and of your systems. And if you're like me as a visual learner, then you really want to have these things drawn out so that way you can kind of plug and play visually and see, okay, this is effective, this is not effective, this can be improved, and so on and so forth, right? It's really important to remember that, the process and the systems are very specific to your goals. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you just one process or one system that can work for everybody because it's really specific to what it is that you want to do, right? So it's really important to know that the processes that you utilize and the systems that you utilize are really specific to your goals. And also know that there's constant tweaking and constant changes that will need to be done. So I encourage you to take some time and explore the specific process and the systems that can work for you. And an offer to you I'll make is that I can help you one-on-one to define that process and those systems that can work for you and help you set it up. So as you are thinking through, okay, what process do I need in my business, or what processes do I need in my business? What systems do I need to kind of automate this process for me? I can help you with that conversation. I can help you brainstorm that. I can help you draw out what that process looks like for you. I can help you think about what systems you need in order to automate that process, and at no cost to you at all. If you stay to the end, I'll tell you how to do that. But I can help you do that at no cost to you at all, right? So we talked about personal and business clarity. We talked about your vision, your goals, the things that you need to get done. Within 5-10 years. What does 3 year look like? What does 1 year look like? What do you need to focus on for the quarter? What activities you need to do? What processes do you need to have? What systems do you need to have? And then the next thing here is the platform, right? The platform is like the structure. So you want to ask yourself, what structure best aligns with you? What structure best aligns with your values, with your vision, and with your goals? What structure offers you the best support and the best resources? What structure offers you the most benefits? This platform or structure, this could be your brokerage. This could be partnerships that you're involved in. This could be networking groups that you're involved in. It's really whatever serves as that foundation, and kind of like that picture, whatever serves as that foundation that would make your process, your systems, and everything that you do that much better, simpler, and more rewarding, right? So after you think about your goals, after you think about your process, your systems, think about that foundation, that structure. What structure would allow me, or would make essentially everything better, right? Would allow me to do more, would allow me to do it bigger, make it easier and more rewarding for me. So for me, one of the platforms that I'm in, or that I like, is really my brokerage. Why I joined my brokerage is I saw it as a platform that would allow me to have an impact on others and help others, which is really what I'm passionate about, even beyond real estate. And it would allow me to grow my business without limitations and with much more resources and collaborations and other people there to help me. And that's why I chose the brokerage I'm at, because I saw it as a platform, as a foundation that would make my processes, my systems, and everything I do that much better, simpler, and more rewarding. So what is that platform for you? And along this journey, another thing I'll mention is tools and resources. We as realtors have a ton of tools and resources that we already pay for and we don't utilize. Oftentimes, we don't even know that they exist, right? And as we're talking about systems, as we're talking about what tools do I need to be effective, what tools do I need to do business and to grow my business, right? There's a lot of free stuff that's out there. And we get tools and resources from our national association, our state association, our local boards, our brokerage, different groups that we may be involved in. There is a plethora of online tools and resources available, and I'm also a resource for you. Now, there's a ton of resources, and I'm not going to go through, a list of resources. I do have a list of resources. If you would like that, I can send that to you. So make sure you connect with me offline, and I'll send you an entire list of resources. But here are like the top 3 resources in each of these categories, or at least some of the underutilized resources. Through NAR, if you're a realtor, then you're a member of NAR, National Association of Realtors. And one of the resources you have is RPR, Realtor Property Resource, is a great tool for property research, for conducting CMAs, for public records. RPR, again, is free to you. If you have not used it yet, definitely check it out. NAR publishes a lot of research and trend reports. So if you're looking at profile of buyers, profiles of sellers, if you're looking at home improvement trends, home remodeling trends, so on and so forth, NAR probably has some research and reports that are already, published about it. So definitely take a look at that. One cool resource that NAR has that I haven't heard many people talk about is the Center for Realtor Financial Wellness. NAR has this Center for Realtor Financial Wellness where basically they help people, realtors, navigate financial freedom. So they help realtors with budgeting and with financial planning, and that's an available resource to you through NAR if you are a member of NAR. The state association provides a lot of resources, and this really depends on what state you're doing business in. But for example, in my state, Pennsylvania, PAR provides a great legal hotline, which is a hotline that's available for anyone who wants to seek legal advice. You call, leave a voicemail, and one of the attorneys from PAR will call you back and answer your legal question. Another resource that PAR provides for us is standard forms. So most of the forms that we use in a transaction are provided through PAR, and they even provide a lot of other forms that are not legally required but can be useful for your clients. And last thing, one of the things that PAR provides is news and compliance. So whenever there are changes on the state level, PAR is usually really good about getting in front of that and letting realtors know what needs to be done and how we can remain compliant. Right? Local boards provide a lot of resources, and again, this really depends on what board you're a part of. I belong to Tri-County Suburban Realtors. They provide a few things. For example, they provide process assistance when it comes to mediation or arbitration requests. They provide free subscriptions. So Inman Select, which is a industry publication that I think a lot of people know about. If you're a part of this board of Tri-County Suburban Realtors, you get a free account in Inman Select. There is a Forward app, which is basically a background checking app. You get that for free as a part of Tri-County Suburban Realtors. And there's other tech tools. Also, my board, the Tri-County Suburban Realtors, provide local market stats and reports by city. If you see that screenshot on the right, these are reports already created for you, already available for you that you can share with your clients or use to educate your customers without you having to create it. Right? Your brokerage is another resource or another place where you can get resources. For example, my brokerage provides extensive training, over 50 hours a week in training. We have support staff and departments that are readily available constantly. And there is a huge opportunity or opportunities to collaborate with top professionals across the entire company, right? So we talked about basically you have resources. You have resources from NAR, you have resources from your state association, you have resources from your local board, you have resources from your brokerage. You also have a ton of online resources. So there's a lot of free stuff out there that you can use to strengthen your business and in order to automate and implement your process. Here's just a quick list of some free online tools. Canva to create social media collateral, social media platforms and tools. By the way, social media is the #1 way realtors use to brand themselves. Magic Plan is a cool app where you can draw floor plans and 3D models like you see in the bottom right of my screen here. There is a ton of cost calculators out there like mortgage affordability calculator, mortgage payment calculator, amortization schedules, what have you. There's a ton of calculators out there that you can use as value add to your clients and as ways to educate your clients on the cost of home buying or home selling. Folio is a cool tool that you can plug into Gmail that will help you organize your transactions as you get emails in Gmail based on your transactions. It basically identifies, that this email belongs to this transaction and really helps you stay organized. Project Color by Home Depot is a cool app that basically allows you to see what the room would look like when it's repainted. So if you're looking at a fixer-upper or a home that needs work and your clients want to get a vision of what it looks like, Project Color by Home Depot is a cool app to do so. Trello is a great task management app. So I know you probably have a ton of things going on and a lot of tasks and activities that you need to do. One of the things I use is Trello, which is really a task management app. Really helps me to stay organized on my tasks and project. Calendly is a cool tool that allows people to schedule appointments with you. I actually put in the description a Calendly link, so you can click that link and schedule an appointment with me. Makes it really much easier for scheduling. There's also Schedule Once and other free tools out there as well. Zoom, to a certain extent, is free. So if you're doing listing appointments virtually, buyer consultations virtually, and you'd rather do it face to face rather than just being on the phone, you can get a free Zoom account, right? There's also another service called freeconferencecall.com. Functions very similar to Zoom, so definitely check that out. So there's a ton of resources out there for you folks that you can utilize for free. Another resource is me. I definitely want to be an available resource for you to put a smile on your face and really help you in any way I can. I'm really passionate about helping people, so in any way I can help you, please do let me know. And here's my offer to you in some ways that I can help you. Um, Given all the hats that I wear in real estate and a lot of the information, resources, and opportunities I've been exposed to, bottom line is I have the processes, the systems, the platform, the tools and resources that you need, right? And I really want to help you. So my offer to you is that if you want my help, if you want to implement any of these things that we talked about, going through a personal or business goal setting exercise, drawing out your process, identifying the systems for you, plugging you in the right platforms, sharing with you and giving you access to more specific tools that are more aligned with you, or just continue to help you and hold you accountable and no cost to you at all, I encourage you to book a call with me. So let's get on a one-on-one call. I'd love to learn more about you and share with you things that are specifically to help you. I put in the description and also in the chat, and I'll put it there again, is a link that you can go ahead and schedule a call with me. So go ahead and schedule a call with me. It's just a 15-minute call, and we can talk about any of these things, whether you need help evaluating and goal setting, you need help drawing out the process, you need help implementing the right systems, the right tools, the right resources, or you just want to get an idea of what things are out there that can be helpful or beneficial to you. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. But more so, I'd love to learn more about you and see if I can help you in any way, shape, or form. All right. So really quick, just a review. We went through a personal and business clarity exercise, and you have that template there for you. Download, take some time to go through it. Again, at the beginning of the year and on a quarterly basis, we talked about the processes that you need in your business. We talked about the systems that you need in your business. We talked about the platform or the structure, making sure that you have a structure or a platform that supports you and that benefits you. We talked about the fact that you have a ton of free resources and tools available for you to utilize. And lastly, I have an offer to help you. So again, simply, I have the processes, the systems, the tools, the platforms, the resources to help you. And I want to invite you to book a call with me so I can learn more about you and your business and really help you implement the processes, the systems, the tools, all at no cost to you at all. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. My best wishes to you on a personal and professional level. So thanks again. Hopefully you got something out of it. And if you have any questions, reach out to me or schedule a call with me and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you guys so much.